Hello everyone, I'm Thekameleon here as always, and welcome to my first video in a really long time. It's going to be a different video than what you guys are used to. Normally it's gameplay and stuff like that. Uh, but I'm going to try something I've never tried before, and that's making a guide. And it's a guide for something I love doing a lot, and that's playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, I'm going to teach you guys how do I make a Dungeons and Dragons character. In theory, you need, well, a couple of things. Some of them you don't need, because some GMs and DMs, game masters and dungeon masters, don't use. But there's also things that you really need. For the first part, what you always need to get is this, Player's Handbook. It's literally the basis stuff of everything. It has all the rules, everything. But there's also GMs who make their own rules that overrule what's in the rule book or in the handbook. Other than that, what I've gotten used to over the 2 years I've been playing D&D now, is that my GM uses 3 books. 3 books I'm really glad about and really love to use. It's the Player's Handbooks, as you can see here, which you need. Then it's something called Xanathar's Guide to Everything. We're gonna roll over that, and maybe in this video, maybe a different video. And in the end, it's also Sword Coast Adventures Guide. They all have different content, a lot of small things that help you. Another thing, depending on you play this in real life or over the internet by something like Roll20 or a different program, if you play in real life, you're gonna need these. These are my dice. These are my D&D dice. And you can get like some of them for not that much money, like they're pretty cheap at times depending on what quality you want and how many you want. I bought these rather cheaply. They cost me around $10 a pack, so I bought 3 packs. I'm going to use these while we do stuff that's more important for our character. But first off, character creation. So I have a kind of like a schematic for when I do stuff. I have items here. This is all in my notebook, OneNote. I have to get the right word. OneNote, items, class, race, why did I become something, why did I become all this stuff is going to be put in later on, age and everything. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. And all these things here down to everything, like your amount of siblings, your lifestyle, everything about you. Even something called personality traits, all this is going to be put in later on. So we're going to jump around in this document here while we make it. Only thing I've learned so far about my character is that I made a name for him, Vernon Davenport. That's all I know right now. We're gonna do everything on the go. So, now we're starting. This is the front page. This is literally the cover of the book, Player's Handbook. So this is where we start. So we're gonna go a couple of, because there's like, oh, first page, nice artwork. Ooh, information. Content. This is where we need to go. So there's a lot of rules and stuff like that in this, so you need to learn them by heart, more or less. And you also need to have an idea of what I want to become. There is the races here. These are the standard races that is in the game. It's really limited to not being there. Like sometime a GM is like, okay, this Dragonborn is not going to be in this game, or a gnome, because some people hate these 2 races. But there's races of all kinds. GMs make their own, and some books introduce new races. But there's dwarf, elf, halfling, human, dragonborn, gnome, half-elf, half-orc, and a tiefling. People don't always think, like when I heard dragonborn the first time, I thought, hey, Skyrim. That's not what a dragonborn looks like. I'm just going to quickly turn over to the page of dragonborn, because these pages are a little buggy, like it says, oh, it's on this page, but when I use this program, it doesn't work like that, because there's no clickety click where I can click anywhere. So this is what a dragonborn is. It's a huge lizard who's actually part dragon. Kind of powerful. And it says like, okay, they're this and this and this. They're ideal for this and this. They have some stats, bonuses and stuff like that, which I'm gonna go over later on. And then there's a tiefling, which I've actually been thinking about. That's what we're gonna play, or gonna make Vernon as, a tiefling. So what is a tiefling? That's a tiefling. This is a tiefling. It's literally a part demon, human. You can always read the background stories of what are they, how did they become what they are, and stuff like that. But literally, a tiefling is a child or a person, like either you're a person who made a deal with a demon or fiend or whatever, something dark and really powerful, or somebody in your bloodline has, and therefore you're cursed. So that's a tiefling. So we're gonna make a tiefling. There's always this little nice introduction, written introduction, like, hey, this is a little thing so you can see what a tiefling is, but it's not always that useful. So it's just flavor, literally. So we're gonna put in tiefling here. Alright, yeah, I wrote that correctly, I think. Tiefling. Whoops, I opened up the wrong program. Tiefling. So that's the first part. We have a tiefling. So a thing you need to learn rather quickly. This is like, how did you become it? Infernal bloodline. Okay. So there's some here, like some information about how are people towards your kind, and that's just how it is. It also gives you the help with, hey, tiefling names. I need to learn a name. And I just took a name, a rather normal name, like Vernon, but Davenport, not that normal. And then there's something here called tiefling traits. So this is where we're going to the more mechanical stuff of the game, not more like, hey, character creation, this is what my character is. This is more, how is your character put in with his statistics. So ability score increase, intelligence score by 1, and charisma by 2. That's the first part. This is a +2 and a +1 to your score. We're going to put in scores later on in a different video, so it won't be here yet. And then age, they are just kind of like human. Their alignments, like how are they? What kind of people are they? Like they're races that are literally neutral evil, which means they're not nice towards people. Walking speed, you only need them when you play, so I'm gonna run that through with you guys in a different time. Their size. Sizes mean a lot in this game, actually. If you're like, there's small, there's tiny, small, medium, large, and then it goes upwards. I can't remember more, but that actually also depends on how much can you carry of loot, and how much can you walk. Those two things are the most important. Doesn't matter like, oh, I'm a huge target. Doesn't matter. If people roll badly, they roll badly. Then there's dark vision. You can look around for 60 feet in where there's no light. Humans can't. They're screwed in darkness. They need light sources always. They can't see anything. And then there's something called hellish resistance. You have resistance to fire damage. This means if you get shot a fireball at you or any kind of fire stuff at you, you half the damage. You get half the damage when somebody uses fire magic or anything of fire against you, even hitting you with a torch. And then there's some like infernal legacies. You get some a cantrip. A cantrip is literally something we'll go on later because that's magic. That's going to be later because we're not playing on with magic right now. And something called Hellish Rebuke, which is again a spell, so no need to do that. Languages. You need to learn to read and write languages, otherwise you can't read or you can't understand people. So right now in this race you learn Common and Infernal, which is 2 languages. There's a bunch of languages in this game. So we've actually taken now, this is quick, like I know like some of you people probably want to read this, but when you get into D&D, you'll probably have a GM that gives you a copy of the PDF of this book. So that's going to help you. But we're going back to the contents list because now we're going to need to pick a class. And because I'm running through magic with you guys, but I also want to show you, like, just because you have a race of a specific kind doesn't mean you can't be anything. Literally, I've played with a gnome barbarian, which is hilarious because it's a thing that's not smaller than that doesn't even go to my character's waist, deals a lot of damage. But we're going through magic, and therefore there's a lot of different things. I'm actually going to take a rogue. I've never really made many rogues in my life. I've actually never made a rogue. So we're going to the rogue, which is 95 in this book. Says some things about what are they. They're stealthy. They're good in out of combat doing stealth attacks. Which you need to roll for to even... Do I get this? Nope. Damn. So this here is like you choose a race. Fair enough. That's easy. Now we're going into the more technical stuff, because there's something here called proficiency bonus, sneak attacks, and some features. Features are things that are specific to your class. So is the sneak attack. No other class has sneak attack than rogue. This means when you attack somebody with your dagger or whatever, haven't seen you, you do a jump attack on them, you add this amount of attack to your surprise round, which is before they even realize there's somebody here. You jump down, you stab them in the back, and they got a lot of damage put into them. So, we're going to put in Rogue here. Right now, actually. Rogue, or Rouge, if somebody does something wrong. There's some stuff here that we're not going to put in just yet. I could also actually show you guys. I'll do that in a later time when we start doing stats. Right now, we're choosing character. Like, what race are they? What class? Now we're skipping ahead a lot because there's a lot of stuff that I want to show you guys on a site called Roll20 about how does all this work. But before we do that, I'm going to run through a few things with you guys. So, hit points, that's your HP. That's how much damage can I take. So, people do a lot of different kinds of stuff in this game. Some GMs love you need to roll for everything. That's why it's like, okay, at first level you get this amount of HP. 8 plus your constitution. I'll show you that guy in a different video, how does constitution work. And then HP at higher levels. 1d8. Trust me, at the start when you start playing this, you don't know anything. I'm just going to try and find a d8 here. This is a d8. This is a d8 die. So, if you want to, depending on your GM, you can roll for your HP. That can be really good for you, or it can really screw you over, because you can actually be so unlucky you always hit a 1. Not even joking, you can hit a 1 so often. And that's going to be really annoying for a tank or anything else. Constitution modifier? We'll run through that, but Constitution is literally, how healthy am I? How much can I take? That's literally what it is. So, then there's some proficiencies. This literally says, what can I use of equipment? With armor and weapons and tools. Rogues are one of the few races that actually, or classes that actually gets a tool proficiency. Otherwise, all of them are like none. Like, they don't learn anything extra. But as a rogue, you know how to use light armor. Some classes don't even know how to use armor. Again, depending on your class. Some classes don't know, some classes do. There's one race that actually gives you proficiency in everything with armor, and that's dwarves. So they can actually have full plate armor even though they're rogue, which is not a thing I would tell you to do. Because there's something bad about having heavy armor on and trying to be sneaky. Then there's weapons. Simple weapons, we'll go through that. Hand crossbows. Small crossbows, literally. I have one in my hand. Long swords, rapiers, and short swords. And then your thief tools. Then, proficiencies. Down here. I'm zooming in so you guys can see this with me. Saving throws. This is literally, okay, I'm shooting something towards you. I'm using magic. You need to do a dexterity saving throw. Okay, time to get you your... Where's my D100? Oh, my D20. I don't need a D100 right now. I need to get my D20. Roll, which I'm going to do now. Okay, I hit a 20. That's actually rather good. 20 is the highest. That's what you call a crit or a critical. You can get a critical success or a critical failure. Critical failures are horrible because critical failures can actually do a lot more damage to you when you roll for a death save. But you actually rarely get that. But again, I rolled my first D20 with this. And I've been playing for a while now with dice. Otherwise, I've been used to internet. But there's dexterity and there's intelligence, and there's spells that do different things, and also things you have to do. Like, okay, you need to save yourself from not falling into this pit. Dexterity saving throw because the stones under you are falling. Okay, fair enough. Then there's skills. You can choose 4 skills. These mean you're proficient in them, which means you can also use them for ability checks later on. Like, for example, you're trying to catch up with somebody. You need to do 3 things. That's literally how it always is. You're trying to catch somebody or catching up to somebody, so you need to do 3 things. Acrobatics, athletics, and I actually don't know another one that I could use for that. Probably, again, one of those. And you need to do that, and you need to be successful, or the person you're trying to catch up with is on your side. So that's how it is here with saving throws and skills. Like, you need to pick these. Stealth is a must-have for a rogue. If you don't have that, you're not going to be really stealthy, because that does a lot to your skill. Being proficient in them also gives you a +2. Well, I'll show you guys what I mean with a +2 later on. Then we go into equipment. You don't need to roll for this, so that's nice. You can be like, okay, what do I want? I'm a rogue. What do I want? You either take A or you take B. But just because you take A up in a rapier here, doesn't mean you need to take A down here. You can take B here and take a short sword if you want to. And Burglar's Pack, Dungeoneer's Pack, and Explorer's Pack, that's something you start off with. And are pretty good. Just don't be the guy who never ever has a backpack with stuff, because people are gonna hate you because they need to lend you their ropes, their torches, their equipment just so you can get down into a hole and look at stuff. So don't be that guy. And then you get some leather armor, 2 daggers, and thieves tools. So it gets like you can choose, okay, here A, here B, here C, and then you get this as a must-have. Then there's some skills down here that I'm not going to go through yet because we're not put up a character sheet yet. I'm going to show you guys what a character sheet is in the next video, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Not yet, at least. So we're going back. So we know it's a tiefling rogue. Now we need to figure out what kind of background do they have. Like, who were they before they joined this group of adventurers or cutthroats or mercenaries? So, there's a lot of different things. Like, this is where I love putting in the different books, because at times you're like, this doesn't have exactly what I want. Like Swords Coast Adventures. I'm just gonna scroll down here a bit. Has some extra stuff for some classes. It's like flavor at times, but also other times it's stuff. Backgrounds. This is nice, but we're gonna, just to keep it simple, we're gonna keep to the player's handbook for now. So, my character's a rogue. He wouldn't be an acolyte. He wouldn't be somebody who's been serving in a temple or church. So, what would he then be? Charlatan. Could be a charlatan. He could actually be a charlatan. And criminal. Rather likely when he's a rogue. That's a cutthroat anyways. Then there's entertainer. Like, I look quickly here. Like, entertainer. Get away, bar. Criminal, charlatan, acolyte. And here's folk hero. Like, there's description like, what have you done since you became this? Huh. That's not how I am. I'm not gonna be a folk hero as a rogue assassin, which is I'm not gonna go assassin because that's actually really being an assassin is really horrible. Guild artisan, that means you've been in some kind of guild, and there's a ton of guilds down here, like your guild business. You can also see, I was in a thieves guild, or I was in an assassin guild. Okay, people won't like you. And there's variants and stuff like that. Hermit, you've been away for a long time from civil society. Nobleman, I've seen a fair deal of rogue noblemen. People like nobles because A, I have a high status as a nobleman. Congrats. But you're a rogue and you're a cutthroat. And you're a nobleman. How are your family not been murdered already, or you've been murdered just because you killed people? Then there's Outlander. Again, you don't come from this area. That's actually kind of common, but you still need to think about, how did I meet these bunch of adventurers. You haven't just met them in the tavern 5 minutes ago. You've been traveling with them for a while, so you know each other. Then there's the sage. That's simply somebody who goes around looking for knowledge. And then, oh yeah, that was the artwork for Outlander. And then there's the one for the sage. Then we have the sailor. You used to work at a ship. Who were you? What were you? Then we have the soldier. Speciality. Officer, scout, and stuff like that. Let's flavor again. What were you in the army? You were in urchin. People don't always know what an urchin is. That's an orphan. You were at an orphanage. You grew up there. You don't know your parents. Or maybe you do, or maybe they died. So that's kind of like the base background stories, and I'm gonna go all the way back. There. Criminal. So, we're gonna be a criminal. So, back in here, race, rogue, background, there. Criminal. Criminal. He was a criminal. So, speciality. What was I? Blackmailer, burglar, enforcer, fence, highway robber, hired killer, pickpocket, or smuggler. I would be a hired killer. I'm just going to copy this because that's so much easier. So, what I'm going to do now is put something extra in. Speciality. Sorry if it's not written correctly, which it probably isn't, but I don't care. There. And now we're going to the more, what kind of person is my character? Well, let's look. Personality traits. I've always have a plan to do when things go wrong. I'm always calm, no matter what the situation. I'll never raise my voice or let my emotions control me. The first thing I do in the first place is note the locations of everything valuable or where such things could be hidden. These are literally just what kind of person is my character. I need a drink. I'm incredibly slow to trust. Those who seem the fairest often have the most to hide. I don't pay attention to the risk of in a situation. Never tell me the odds. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. I blow up at the slightest insult. So, my character's a hired murderer. So, I'm going to put this in as well. Personality trait. Again, I have taken this directly from that book, and they're a bit... don't tell me the risk. Situation. So you need to learn this. Like, the book is rather buggy at times. But what you actually need to do is you have to always have 2 personality traits. You can make your own if you want to. But for new players, it's never a good idea to make your own stuff. Not for a while. And this one, I always have a plan. I always have a plan for what to do when things... This book loves to make T's into L's for some reason. I don't know why. All these errors is literally because of other stuff. Because this is not in English. My OneNote is not in English. So, ideal. At the end of every kind of ideal, you don't need to follow these completely. You don't. But they're good to tell what kind of person is, because your GM will use that ideal towards you. Like, A, you're not doing what your own ideal is telling you you are. Okay. So, honor, I don't steal from others in the trade. Well, my character kills people, so that doesn't work with him. Freedom, chains are meant to be broken, and as are those who would forge them. Chaotic. I steal from the wealthy so that I can help people in need. My character's not a good person, he kills people. I will do whatever it takes to become wealthy. That's probably true for my character. I'm just going to copy that. I'm loyal to my friends, not to any ideals, and everyone else can take a trip down the sticks for all I care. Literally, you can go die. And redemption. Again, I don't think a hired assassin will think about, hey, you can become a good person, I'm not going to stab you. Now it's like, oh, you're my paycheck. Come here. Come here. So my character's evil now. Not all gyms allow you to have an evil character though, because my gym has had trouble with that, because literally an entire group got killed by an assassin rogue, slit their throats, and stole all the loot. What happened to that guy though was that he all of a sudden was attacked by a pack of werewolves, so he didn't survive long. Bonds, that's literally what is keeping me on my path. Who am I? Why am I on this path? So, does my character have a family? We don't know yet. So that's why I'm not going to take number 2, which is all the money he gets goes to his family. Something important was taken from me and I aim to steal it back. I will become the greatest thief that ever lived. Well, you're an assassin, not a thief. I'm guilty of a terrible crime. I hope I can redeem myself for it. Someone I love because of a mistake I made. That will never happen again. That works rather well with our character's background. For him being a murderer, or assassin, if you want to put it like that. So, a flaw. We're almost done with the background now, actually, and that's actually why I also think I'll stop it and start the next video. So, my head is probably covering some of the stuff, so I'm sorry about that. When I see something valuable, I don't think about anything but how to steal it. I actually can zoom up because that's horrible on my screen. When faced with a choice between money and my friends, I usually choose the money. If there's a plan, I'll forget it. If I don't forget it, I'll ignore it. I have a tell that reveals when I'm lying. So literally, I say something specific when I lie. I turn tail and run when things look bad. An innocent person is in prison. Yeah, okay. So I've killed somebody and I'm okay with it because somebody else has taken the blame. That's how my character is. So he's not a nice person at all. He's evil. He doesn't care. He's mean. Really mean. So that's actually where we're going to stop that, because in the next video I'm going to go into background works through Xanathars. So right now we have our class, we have the race, we have their background story. We don't have all the information yet because a lot of GMs actually want you to write a background story, not just the info that I'm making. But I'm going to show you guys that in a later video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this small tutorial. There's going to be a bunch more of these. This is just the start. Like, we have a lot more work to do. Next time we're going to make the background. I'm actually not going to go on Roll20 just yet. I'm just going to make a lot of different stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope to see you guys next time for another guide. Bye-bye, guys.